Hello, hello, hello. My name is Edvin Andersson, and I just had the second week of September be the best week I've ever had in terms of a business standpoint. And I'm gonna talk to you guys about what happened in the first and second week of September. So we're now exactly halfway through the month on the 15th of September, and this month has been incredible. I want to talk about what has happened and the learning lessons that I've had throughout the way. So, first of all, what happened this month? To start off with, I am 15 days in and I've already made more revenue this month than I did a whole last month, which means that we're tracking to double the revenue of our business this month, which is something I'm pretty proud of. With that said, some of the things that happened for these last 2 weeks is that we went from signing no clients, Cipolla, 0 clients in August to already having signed 6 clients in September, which is quite a big jump. Super proud of that. Feel like we're starting to actually get some stuff happening on the sales side. Our close rate is up to 25%. Our PSM closer hybrid role, we have a girl called Christy. She's awesome. She's fully ramped up now. She closed her first client with my help last week. She's doing well. I'm excited for that. And now it's just about continuing to do the actions, make sure that these partners that we onboarded get the killer results that they deserve, and continue to sell. Don't slow down. Another thing that happened this last week was that my probably the top 3 most important person in my company got really sick. He's old. He's 57 years old, and he got really sick, which sucks. Number one, because I really care about him, and secondly, because it hurt the company quite a bit, or it could have hurt the company quite a bit. But I stepped in really well. I was proactive. I took over the meetings on his calendar and so on. And I'm really proud of that. And he's still sick, and he's hopefully going to be back tomorrow. So it's good to see how vulnerable your business can be. For example, somebody in the company who's really important might be sick. Always have a backup, an SOP written out on if this person who's really key gets sick, what are we going to do with each one of their initiatives and jobs. Another thing that happened is I learned that it's very easy to overestimate how fast people can learn stuff. For example, if you want to bring on a PSM, partner success manager, and you're not used to bringing on partner success managers, you might think that it's going to take 2 weeks for them to be ramped up and at KPI. But what you've forgotten is how the current person you have, or yourself maybe, has been doing this for a year. And in a year, you have so many micro skills that you've learned that you want to document so that they can learn them. But don't expect it to take 2 weeks. It might take 2 weeks for them to be able to start taking calls on their own, but it's going to take way, way, way longer before they're as good as you are. And don't think that they're dumb for that. Just realize that you probably haven't accounted for how big of a learning gap there is to fully know your company in and out. So write really in-depth learning processes and SOPs for a new hire to come into the company. Now let's talk about some of the learning lessons from the last 2 weeks, so week 36 and week 37 of September. So first of all, I realized that you guys probably wouldn't believe this about me, but I'm very extroverted in meetings and so on, but I'm very introverted when it comes to people I don't know. And I thought about it, and I really reflected over why that is, and I think it's because I'm afraid to disturb people. Like if I get sweet potato fries when I want a normal fries, for example, I'm not gonna tell the person that I got the wrong fries because I don't want to disturb people. And I think that's something I gotta work on, because I think I'm gonna disturb people even when I won't. And it's just because I don't like making people feel worse, and it's something that just came with me I think it came with me in a really early age and kind of stick with me, where I'm really afraid to be a hassle for people. I don't want to ask the cashier for this thing or whatever. And I'm going to try to train that away and be more confident in myself, not afraid of disturbing people. Secondly, this one was an expensive mistake. We spent 3 days this week, or last week, making a new website on Go High Level instead of Webflow, until I asked myself, why do we need to make a new website again? And they said, oh, because we want to save the $19 a month that it cost to host the website on Webflow, because we were already paying for Go High Level. And I thought it was absurd. My operations manager, who is extremely valuable, and every day she's probably providing $500 to the company. She was gonna spend 3 days to save, or she was probably halfway through. So she was gonna spend 5 days, 6 days to spend $19 or to save $19 a month to our company. I thought that was absurd. And that's when I realized that rather than trying to optimize efficiency, the biggest efficiency booster you can have is realizing what's not worth doing to begin with. I'll repeat that. Instead of trying to optimize efficiency, the biggest efficiency optimizer you can do is realizing what's not worth doing to begin with. So always question before doing anything. Is this really worth doing? Is this the best way to do it? Is there any easier way to do it? Can we automate this? Can we just not do it whatsoever? Who can do it instead of me? And so on. Next one, I spoke about this one on my last report too, but always remember that everything in life has a delayed effect. The work you put in today is going to show in a month, maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months. It's not going to show today. So don't be discouraged if you hit the gym for 7 days and you don't see any progress. You're going to see it in a month, I promise you. Don't be discouraged if you've been waking up early and you're trying to build discipline but you don't see anything. Because I promise you, in a month, you're going to see the difference. It goes from meditation, eating healthy, hitting the gym, working extra hard, training a new skill. It works for everything. Just remember that everything in life has a delayed effect. It's so true, and it's something I remind myself of all the time. The life you're living today is because of the actions you put in 3 to 6 months ago, even 1 month ago. Now, this one was really interesting. I heard a good quote that I wanted to share with you guys. This isn't how it was written, but this is how I took it. Nothing kills like success. Nothing kills like success. What that means is that there's nothing that's as dangerous as success. Let me share a real example with you guys that's a bit personal. The business went through a really bad month in August in terms of numbers. We barely made any profit. Our cash flow got a lot worse, and it was a heavy month because we were spending a lot of money on ads and signed no clients. And I started being really cost wary in a good way. I started being really productive. I worked very hard. I stopped spending money on stupid stuff. I got the team super motivated. And then I have been winning the last 2 weeks of September. I've really been winning. We've signed 6 clients, which isn't a lot, but it's very high ticket. We got a 14K client, a 14K paid in full client this week. So I had a few really good things come up. And here's the interesting thing. I almost put my foot off the gas, and I almost started feeling good about myself, spending money again, taking it a bit easy and thinking I was winning. And that's when I realized and reminded myself that nothing kills like success. The reason that most people fail isn't because they always fail and build no momentum. It's because they win and then they take the foot off the gas. And it's so easy to think that you're a winner and then start taking it easy and then lose everything. I've done it so many times where I work very hard. I tell myself I'm never going to be stupid again. I make some money and then I get stupid again. And this time was different because I called myself out on it. And I got back to work super hard right away and kept being, I don't want to say frugal, but I kept being conscious of where we spent money. I kept working as hard as we did when we were in that really tight spot. But I'm glad that I called myself out on it because it's easy to lose when you're successful. Because if you think about it, it makes no sense that there can be small companies that scale way up super fast when there's some companies that have trillions of dollars, billions of dollars of resources. How can a small startup beat those companies on a long enough time horizon? I feel like the companies like Ford, who were super big 100 years ago, they should still be massive today. They are, some of them. Most of them aren't. And at least there's been other companies that came in and killed them. And the reason for that is because of complacency and thinking that you're better than you are and stop being all innovation. So nothing kills like success. Last learning lesson for the last 2 weeks of September is fear is your compass. Go wherever the fear is. If you're afraid to do something, if you have a thought and that thought is really uncomfortable, lean into it, question it even more. And if you try to take a decision and there's 2 choices and you don't know which one to go with, and you feel like one's harder than the other, choose the harder one. Because if the easier one was the right choice, you would already have made it. You would already have taken that decision. So the fact that you're thinking about it means that the harder one is probably the one to go with. Because otherwise it wouldn't be a decision that you even thought about. So fear is your compass. Go wherever the pain is. That's my learning lessons for the last 2 weeks of September. It's been really great to see the hard work that I've been putting in for the last 4 months coming to fruition, and I'm not planning on stopping down anytime soon. I'm not planning on stopping down anytime soon. I am planning on continuing to put in the work like I have nothing. What they say is train like you never won, play like you've never lost. And I'm going to continue doing that. I'm going to continue putting in the work and training like I've never won. And I'm going to scale way the fuck up. I think I'm going to be a billionaire within the next 5 years. And I have a plan to get there, and I haven't shared it publicly yet. But just watch what's going to happen in the next 5 years. I think I'm going to become a billionaire. And that might be incorrect. People say that it always takes more time than you think. That might be very true. But I think I'm going to be a billionaire in the next 5 years. I think I'm going to be a billionaire by the age of 22. If not, that's fine, because it's not about the timeline, it's about the journey. But I feel very good about everything right now. We have a really good product. I know that there's nobody out there that have the kind of results with their company that we do. And I'm excited. And we're going to crush it. I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.